County, bringing the total there to 61, and the figure in San Bernardino County climbing to 97 with the addition of 3 more fatalities. In Orange County, the number of deaths has now reached 52, while the San Diego County figure has risen to 138, and Ventura County added 1 new death for a total of 19 so far. In Tarzan, a couple suing a Princess Cruise Lines, alleging they contracted the coronavirus at sea and suffered permanent health damage. The Tutunchians say they were traveling through parts of Asia when they contracted the virus. They say the cruise line did very little to ensure the health and safety of everyone on board, and they continued sailing despite outbreaks on board. James Urbanic's couple's lawyer, he tells KenX how they plan to challenge the company in court.
Cruise lines are very good at throwing up roadblocks to prevent lawsuits against them. But in this particular case, general negligence principles apply. The real question is, what did Princess know? When did they know it? And what did they do about it? Was their conduct reasonable given the context of the situation?
Princess is facing dozens of pandemic-related lawsuits. The company says it does not comment on pending litigation, but insists it has been sensitive to the difficulties faced by those who have been impacted. JetBlue passengers will have to wear masks starting tomorrow. They're going to be required during check-in, boarding, while in flight, and getting off the plane. Airline industry expert Brett Snyder with CrankyFlyer.com tells KenX he hopes other U.S. airlines do the same thing.
Most of the airlines so far, what we've seen is they simply are requiring employees to wear masks. But that is more about protecting the passengers than the actual employees themselves.
Snyder says he's not sure if this requirement will lead to more people wanting to fly again. He says it is more about protecting current passengers and crews, and American Airlines says it's going to begin handing out masks and sanitizing wipes to passengers. A lot of nerves have been rattled by a small overnight earthquake centered about a half-mile northwest of Chatsworth, although it only registered a magnitude 3.3 and didn't cause any injuries or damage. It did make the ground shake across much of the San Fernando Valley around 3:20 this morning. It was also felt in parts of Simi Valley, Santa Clarita, even West LA, and Santa Monica. Former Vice President Joe Biden has won another one. That story is coming up in 3 minutes. It's 8:35. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5. Here's Tim Greenwood.
14 freeway northbound at Soledad Canyon in Santa Clarita. A car off the side of the road. In Bellflower, 91 eastbound at Lakewood Boulevard, off-ramp, a car to the right side of the road. And they say there's a fire inside the car. 110 southbound at Exposition, stalled car blocking the left lane. Out of East Los Angeles on the 60, watch out. Findlay to Rosemead, you're going to lose a couple lanes for road work. Also, southbound 405 connectors to the 10 east and west are closed until noon. Lots of work on the 405. 405 connector to La Cienega, also El Segundo closed until 2 p.m. 405 freeway southbound Santa Monica Boulevard on-ramps. Those are closed. They're going to seal up the pavement and make it last longer. 405 northbound, north of Van Nuys, carpool, and now it's the 2 left lanes, down from left lanes. Thank you for the traffic tipster detail. They'll be working on things until 5 p.m. today. Looks like they're going to be on schedule. And also a SIG alert on the Hollywood Freeway, all clear. 101 southbound at Vermont, looking good. Next traffic report, 8:45. I'm Tim Greenwood from the Toyota of Glendora 24-hour traffic center, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Clouds and fog in the morning and then sunshine during the day. That's going to be the weather pattern for the next couple of days. Our highs today staying on the mild side with upper 60s at the beaches, upper 70s inland, low 80s in the valleys. Overnight lows in the 50s. Going to be a little bit warmer tomorrow. And then later on this week, some very warm temperatures coming in. Could see some records broken on Thursday. Your exclusive 5-day forecast is coming up at 8:45. Currently, we have 63 degrees in West Covina, 62 in Malibu, and 64 in Santa Ana at 8:36.
The DrinkWorks Home Bar by Keurig is the perfect Mother's Day gift. With over 2 dozen cocktails at the push of a button, give Mom what she really wants at drinkworks.com/mom. From mojitos to mules to margaritas, save over $100 and get the DrinkWorks Home Bar for the Mother's Day price of only $1.99 at drinkworks.com/mom. The perfect Mother's Day gift is the DrinkWorks Home Bar by Keurig. Get yours today at drinkworks.com/mom. Keurig is registered trademark of Keurig Green Mountain Inc. Used under license. Please enjoy responsibly.
It's Jane. And if you're home with kids who you're trying to keep engaged and off their devices, we need to talk about KiwiCo. KiwiCo is hands-on art and science projects for kids of all ages delivered to your doorstep. Each project has visual, step-by-step instructions to keep even the youngest innovators engaged and learning outside of school. Everything you need to make STEM fun, delivered monthly to your doorstep. Get to kiwico.com/local today to save 30% off your first month. That's KIWICO.com/local.
Small businesses are grappling with the impact of these uncertain times and looking for resources. That's why Dell Technologies assembled an all-star lineup of podcasters to create the first ever virtual conference to share advice and inspiration for small businesses. Dell Technologies is here. From keeping you connected while working remotely with Windows 10 and Microsoft Teams to providing relevant content for businesses. Search Dell Technologies Small Business Podference on radio.com, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts starting May 1st.
8:38 on KNX. Former Vice President Joe Biden took the Kansas Democratic primary by storm. It was conducted exclusively by mail-in balloting because of the pandemic. Biden expected to take home a majority of the state's delegates to the Democratic's National Nominating Commission, and he did just that. He walked away with 77% of yesterday's vote, giving him the overwhelming majority. All other Democratic candidates have since dropped out of the race, including Senator Bernie Sanders, who suspended his campaign after ballots were sent out. Sanders has now endorsed Biden. Concern is growing that the coronavirus pandemic could put this year's elections at even greater risk of cyber attacks.
There's no reason to think that this pandemic will in any way stop other countries from trying to interfere in U.S. elections. In fact, there are those who believe it could give them even more ammunition to try and divide Americans. Paul Rosenzweig is a cybersecurity expert.
China, Russia, Iran have all recognized that we have an increasingly polarized society. We, as a society, need to develop a better way of inuring ourselves to misinformation. It's perfectly acceptable to be in disagreement with your fellow citizens. What we all should agree upon, however, is that those disagreements should be based upon facts, not upon false conflicts created by foreign actors.
Rosenzweig warns that machines used to count mailed-in paper ballots could also be at greater risk. Chris Sedens, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Even if you don't normally request an absentee ballot, every registered voter in Los Angeles County will be receiving a vote-by-mail ballot for the upcoming election in November. The Board of Supervisors approved the measure unanimously. Supervisor Janice Hahn says they all agreed that social distancing will probably still be a concern 6 months from now.
While we're still thinking about lifting our safer at home order, I'm fairly confident that come November, we're still not going to want to see long lines of people standing next to each other waiting to cast their ballot.
LA County Registrar Recorder County Clerk Dean Logan had previously warned that such a move would be expensive. No price tag was included in the motion. The coronavirus pandemic is forcing big changes at the tradition-bound Supreme Court. This week, the justices are set to hear arguments by telephone for the first time since Alexander Graham Bell patented his invention. Audio of the argument is going to be broadcast live by the news media. That's another first. The first argument is set for tomorrow. The court's going to hear a total of 10 cases over 6 days. Among the cases being argued are President Trump's bid to keep certain financial records private and whether presidential electors are required to cast their electoral college ballots for the candidate who won their state. An expert says ageism is rearing its head during the coronavirus pandemic.
Ageism has been around for decades, but Dr. Dileep Jeste, director of the UC San Diego Center for Healthy Aging, says it's showing itself again as some people point to COVID-19 as only affecting older adults and implying their lives are not as valuable as young people when wanting to reopen the economy.
When you hear people complaining about somebody being old and being really a burden on the society, who will feel good hearing that?
Jeste says the tables were turned when hospitals became overwhelmed with coronavirus patients.
They were asking people who are retired, who were most of them over the age of 65, somewhere in the 70s, to come back and help the younger generation as well as other older people. So we didn't think about them as useless.
He says negative sentiments towards seniors can make them even more vulnerable to the virus because it could lead to feelings of depression and anxiety, which can further lower their immune systems. Karen Adams, KNX 1070 News Radio.
We have some road work slowing it down on the 5 in East LA. Your next traffic check is coming up in 4 minutes. It's 8:41.
Owning Corporation, Equal Housing Lender, licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lender Act, NMLS 1797976, California DRE license 02063270. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
Crazy things are going on in the world right now. Like owning funding 30-year fixed refis at 2.99 rate and APR. Yes, you heard correctly. 2.99 rate and APR with no fees of any kind. Needless to say, people are going to owning.com for this free closer rate and APR like mad. In fact, if you have both a real estate and mortgage license, we may want to hire you. Look, money is so dirt cheap, most folks are taking cash out of their equity to do just about anything, including sticking it into their bank accounts just to have it there. Wouldn't you be crazy not to go to owning.com and grab 2.99 APR? No closing costs, no nonsense money while it's out there? Call 855-5-OWNING or go to owning.com to not miss these monthly savings. 855-5-OWNING.
Drinking and driving? What's your excuse?
I know when I've had too much. I'm careful.
We designate a driver. He just drinks less.
If the room doesn't spin when I stand up, I'm good.
I was eating the whole time I was drinking.
I didn't drink that much.
I had to drive home. I need my car for work.
I'm a big guy. I can drink more and drive.
I live 5 minutes from here.
No excuses. Designate a sober driver.
A message from the California Highway Patrol.
The DrinkWorks Home Bar by Keurig is the perfect Mother's Day gift. With over 24 cocktails at the push of a button, give mom what she really wants at drinkworks.com/mom. From mojitos to mules to margaritas, save over $100 and get the DrinkWorks Home Bar for the Mother's Day price of only $1.99 at drinkworks.com/mom. The perfect Mother's Day gift is the DrinkWorks Home Bar by Keurig. Get yours today at drinkworks.com/mom. Keurig is registered trademark of Keurig Green Mountain Inc. Used under license. Please enjoy responsibly.
This is Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station, KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us.
8:44, I'm Rob Archer, and coming up, the coronavirus taking a bite out of crime by making it harder for drug traffickers to launder money in L.A.
Streaming is beating traditional TV viewing during the outbreak. That story's coming up in 5 minutes when Bloomberg checks your money.
And some changes have been made to traffic signals across L.A. to help reduce the spread of the virus. The story's coming up in the next 15 minutes. But first, it's 8:45. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5. Here's Tim Greenwood.
Northbound on the 5 downtown, that's where you're going to find plenty of slowing as you cross the 710. The northbound 5 to the 710 transition road is closed. Then the 5 is down to one lane all the way up to Broadway. Also, the 5 exit to the 101 is closed. Fontana, avoid the 15 north of the 210. Simply put, Sierra Avenue to Glen Helen Parkway. 4 lanes are closed. And the way they wrote this is 4 out of 4 lanes are closed. Okay, that's what I said. So instead, if you have to get up Cajon Pass, stay on the 210 until you get to the 215 freeway. Take the 215 north and you'll be treated just fine. 405 freeway. 10 connectors to the 10 east and westbound remain closed right now. Next traffic report at 8:55. I'm Tim Greenwood in the Toyota of Glendora 24-hour traffic center, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Get ready for a beautiful Sunday across Southern California. If you are along the coast, expect temperatures in the lower 70s, upper 70s for LA and Orange County Metro, lower 80s for the valleys in the Inland Empire this afternoon, lower 80s in the high desert as well, and upper 60s up in the mountains. We will have periods of strong northerly winds through Tuesday. They will be strongest over Santa Barbara County, the I-5 corridor, and the Antelope and Santa Clarita Valley. The big weather story heading into this week will be our warming temperatures, especially by midweek. Wednesday into Thursday, temperatures soar to the mid to upper 90s for some areas, and we have the potential to break some heat records. With Southern California's most accurate and dependable forecasts, I'm CBS 2 meteorologist Alex Biston for KNX 1070 News Radio.
Currently 62 degrees in San Bernardino, 63 in Gardena, 64 in Yorba Linda at 8:46. Racism is growing against Asian Americans because of the pandemic, which originated in China.
It's pretty dehumanizing.
San Francisco State Professor Russell Jung, who compiled data on over 1,500 incidents, is the chair of the Asian American Studies Department.
When our cases are reported, people will remark, COVID-19 occurs because of you, or they use racial slurs.
He says about 10% of the cases are civil rights violations, another 10% physical assault, insults, which can be considered hate crimes. Often it's shunning, not being allowed in a workplace, a place of business, or even someone spitting or coughing on a person on purpose. He's really concerned about what happens when the restrictions are lifted.
For a variety of reasons. First of all, both parties are making U.S.-China relations major presidential campaign issue, and so they're China bashing. The economy is tanking. Thirdly, people are frustrated for being sheltered in place. Fourthly, because people are going to be more fearful, people are going to be more angry, and people are going to want to scapegoat even more.
Professor Jung says they encourage Asian Americans not to engage when they're assaulted verbally, but rather seek help and report it as a crime. Bob Brill, KNX 1070 News Radio.
The impact on the U.S. economy from the coronavirus stay-at-home orders is well known. Though, is that those same shutdowns are dramatically hampering the abilities of drug cartels to launder their profits through U.S. businesses, especially here in L.A.
For years, the cartels had sent U.S. dollars through businesses in the L.A. Garment District, buying goods that were sold for pesos in Mexico, then funneled into the pockets of cartel leaders. Now, with those businesses unable to operate because of their non-essential nature, L.A. DEA Chief Bill Bodner says drug dealers here have nowhere to go to launder their cash.
Drug money is piling up here in the L.A. area, and just in the past 2 weeks, we've made 3 separate seizures of over $1 million. It's the type of cash that was more reminiscent of the earlier mid-'90s here.
Dealers now are trying to physically ship millions of dollars in money over the Mexican border in cars and trucks. But by doing that, there's a much higher risk of U.S. police agencies or the Mexican government seizing the money and arresting the people involved. Pete Demetrio, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Some people are considering tapping into their retirement savings to get through the pandemic shutdown, but financial experts say that's not a good idea.
Only do it as a last resort, says Morgan Stanley Pasadena Managing Director Alan Whitman.
If you can help it, try not to. It's one of the worst things you can do. It's really there to take care of you on down the road when you're going to actually retire, probably for good, and then try to enjoy yourself at that period of time. So we really encourage people not to withdraw the money if they're able to. If it means you need to put food on the table, then yeah, these are things you need to think about very carefully.
As for your portfolio itself, Whitman says, keep things steady.
If you have a game plan and if you're working with an advisor, continue to consult with that advisor to make sure any changes in direction or focus that you're doing is really in line still with what you're trying to accomplish with your money. And don't let your emotions drive your decisions under any circumstances. You just don't do that.
And when it comes to that stack of bills on your table, Whitman says tackle the credit card so the huge interest doesn't pile up, and then work with your landlord on some sort of payment plan if you can't make rent right now. Brian Ping, KNX 1070 News Radio.
We're asking your pandemic-related questions to the professionals twice every weekday at 9:45 and 4:15. Email us at coronaquestions@knx1070.com. It's 8:50. Michael Lysak checks your money.
In another era, the coronavirus lockdown might have been a boon for cable TV networks, but Nielsen ratings show traditional TV watching is not increasing.
So what people are doing is watching and binging hours and hours of programming.
Bernard Gershon, president of the online video consulting firm Gershon Media.
Certainly Netflix is a winner. I would say Roku is a winner. Disney Plus grew to 50 million subs after only launching last year.
Disney packing mountains of content into its streaming service, old shows as well as new.
When it comes to kids, if there's a older program like Hannah Montana, it's new to them.
But Disney also lives in the world of traditional cable TV, where the Disney Channel's ratings are down over 35% from a year ago, and ESPN down over 60%. And don't even mention the theme parks. We check your money at 20 and 50 after each hour. I'm Bloomberg's Michael Lysak for KNX 1070 News Radio.
The pandemic is worldwide.
Several countries are yet to feel its full impact.
The impact is local.
The governor said mass gatherings are not likely to be allowed for the foreseeable future.
And to understand what it means for all of us, you need Southern California's only 24-hour local news station.
Here, Eric Garcetti says the city is launching the emergency senior meal.
Because what matters to you matters to us. Stay connected with KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us.
It's Jane, and if you're home with kids who you're trying to keep engaged and off their devices, we need to talk about KiwiCo. KiwiCo is hands-on art and science projects for kids of all ages delivered to your doorstep. Each project has visual, step-by-step instructions to keep even the youngest innovators engaged and learning outside of school. everything you need to make STEM fun, delivered monthly to your doorstep. Get to kiwico.com/local today to save 30% off your first month. That's KIWICO.com/local.
Small businesses are grappling with the impact of these uncertain times and looking for resources. That's why Dell Technologies assembled an all-star lineup of podcasters to create the first ever virtual conference to share advice and inspiration for small businesses. Dell Technologies is here. From keeping you connected while working remotely with Windows 10 and Microsoft Teams to providing relevant content for businesses. Search Dell Technologies Small Business Podference on radio.com, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts starting May 1st.
8:52 on KNX. LA is increasing the number of intersections while the walk signal starts automatically. Mayor Eric Garcetti says pedestrians no longer need to hit a button at nearly 900 intersections across the city.
The reason to do this is straightforward. If COVID-19 finds its way, the coronavirus more exactly finds its way onto one of these pedestrian signals, it can spread from person to person to person. More folks might get sick. So the seemingly small step can actually save lives at our crosswalks.
The automatic walk signals are centered around hospitals in the city. Garcetti says he's appointed a chief of COVID response equity who will work to help people in communities of color get better access to virus testing and health care. A just-released survey reveals that a majority of parents say their kids are engaging in educational activities provided by their schools during the coronavirus pandemic.
The findings are definitely a positive sign, given how school districts and teachers had to switch gears essentially overnight to provide distance learning.
While districts and schools were, providing meals, they were trying to distribute technological resources, internet capacity, computers. The fact that students were participating in educational activities at that same time seems pretty impressive.
Anna Saavedra is a research scientist at the USC Dornsife Center for Economic and Social Research, which has been conducting a national survey to track and measure the impacts of the pandemic on the lives of Americans. She said they also found some concerns among parents.
Inequality of access to computer and internet by income. There are a quarter of households are reporting concerns about their children's preparations for next year.
Given that they were surveyed in the first half of April, she says those concerns could still go up, with even greater worry already among Latino parents about their child's preparedness for the next school year. Margaret Carrero, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Berkshire Hathaway has sold its entire stakes in the four largest U.S. airlines. Chairman and CEO Warren Buffett explained why at Berkshire's annual meeting, which was held online because of the coronavirus pandemic.
The world changed for airlines, and I wish them well, but it's one of the businesses we have. We have businesses we own directly that are going to be hurt significantly.
The conglomerate had a more than 9% stake in United, Southwest American, and Delta Airlines. Airline stocks have been hammered by the near collapse of the U.S. travel industry during the pandemic, with U.S. airlines cutting hundreds of thousands of flights. Trump administration officials continue to blame China for the outbreak. That story at the top of the hour at 9 o'clock. It's 8:55. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5. Here's Tim Greenwood.
Monterey Park, 60 eastbound, 3 lanes taken away from Rosemead to Findlay, going on until tomorrow morning, and then a bicycle has been dropped in lanes, 60 eastbound just past San Gabriel. Los Angeles Crest Highway at mile marker 55, pretty much the top of the mountain. Report of 2 motorcycles down and emergency equipment trying to make its way there. Carson, 405 northbound at Alameda, stalled SUV in the rightmost lane. 210 eastbound at Cherry in Fontana. We have a new traffic collision. This is an SUV and a small car, and they are making their way off to the right shoulder. 5 northbound to the 710 transition road is closed. 5 is down to 1 lane from the 710 up to Broadway. Also, 14 northbound at Soledad Canyon, car over the side of the road, and road work north of Van Nuys. This one will be going on until about 5 this afternoon, starting just above Roscoe. That's where we have. Next traffic report at 9:05. I'm Tim Greenwood in the Toyota of Glendora 24-hour traffic center, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Low clouds and fog this morning, then sunshine today and tomorrow. We're going to see highs on the mild side. Upper 60s at the beaches, upper 70s inland, low 80s in the valleys. Overnight lows tonight under clear skies in the 50s. Going to be a bit warmer tomorrow with highs hitting the 70s at the beaches, 80s inland in the valleys. And this week, gusty winds and much higher temperatures. Possible record heat on Thursday. Right now, 62 degrees in Simi Valley, 64 in Culver City, and 63 in Lancaster. Among our top local stories, more protests in Orange County against the governor's beach shutdown orders, and some beaches in Ventura County open with restrictions. More news in 3 minutes.
For all our sakes, we need to avoid crowds any way we can. But what if you need to go to the post office or need postage for letters and packages? Stamps.com is here to help. Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, package, or class of mail anywhere you want to send. Once your mail is ready, just leave it for your mail carrier, schedule a free package pickup, or drop it in a mailbox. No human contact required. Plus, find great discounts like 5 cents off every first-class stamp and up to 40% off USPS shipping rates. And now, Stamps.com also offers UPS services with discounted rates up to 62% and no residential surcharges. Right now, listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in LISTEN. That's Stamps.com, enter LISTEN. Stay safe, my friends.
Geico presents, not again, another voicemail from your roommate.
Hey, man, so I was in a rush to get to work and I left the back door open. Could you shut it? I left it wide open. While you're there, could you also turn off the oven? And all of the burners. My mom never let me use the oven. I wonder why.
The Geico Insurance Agency could help keep your personal property protected, like if it's your roommate's first time operating an oven. Visit geico.com to see how easy it is to switch and save on renter's insurance.
The DrinkWorks Home Bar by Keurig is the perfect Mother's Day gift. With over 2 dozen cocktails at the push of a button, give Mom what she really wants at drinkworks.com/mom. From mojitos to mules to margaritas, save over $100 and get the DrinkWorks Home Bar for the Mother's Day price of only $1.99 at drinkworks.com/mom. The perfect Mother's Day gift is the DrinkWorks Home Bar by Keurig. Get yours today at drinkworks.com/mom. Keurig is a registered trademark of Keurig Green Mountain Inc. Used under license. Please enjoy responsibly.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, and, of course, companionship. Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive, and now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance so common with this group.
But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. That means it could be you, your best man, your worst man. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
The news you need now more than ever from the people you trust. Southern California's only 24-hour news and traffic station. KNX, KRTH FM HD2 Los Angeles. KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us.
Coming up, our top local story, Orange County beach lovers stage more protests against an order from Governor Gavin Newsom. Plus, LA residents have a new place to get crucial information on COVID-19. These stories with traffic every 10 minutes to 5. Coming up in 5 minutes after CBS covers the world. It's 9 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Allison Keyes in Washington. The Trump administration is looking to blame China for the COVID-19 pandemic.
I'm Tom Foti. U.S. officials continue to point fingers at China in the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. On Fox News Sunday, Dr. Deborah Birx.
It didn't happen until mid-January that they even talked about human-to-human transmission. And that really, and when you see how many countries now are infected, that did fan the virus across the globe.
With Secretary of State Mike Pompeo more pointed about a lab in Wuhan.
There's enormous evidence that that's where this began. We've said from the beginning that this was a virus that originated originated in Wuhan, China. We took a lot of grief for that.
He was on ABC's This Week. Tom Foti, CBS News, Washington.
More coronavirus fallout from Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting, where Chairman Warren Buffett explains why the company sold its entire stakes in the nation's 4 largest airlines last month.
The world changed for airlines, and I wish them well, but it's one of the businesses we have. We have businesses we own directly that are going to be hurt significantly.
Now to London, where the British Prime Minister is talking about his recent battle with the coronavirus.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been speaking about his recent hospitalization for COVID-19. He's told the Sunday Sun newspaper here that contingency plans for his death were drawn up while he was in intensive care. His fiancée, Carrie Symonds, has also revealed why they named their newborn Wilfred Laurie Nicholas Johnson. The names are a tribute to their grandfathers and to 2 doctors named Nicholas who treated Johnson and, Symonds is convinced, saved his life. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
The 2 Koreas exchanged gunfire across their border, but CBS's Jason Strother reports from Seoul it is unclear why the North opened fire on the South.
South Korea's military says its guard post inside the demilitarized zone was struck by a round of bullets. It then fired back and issued a verbal warning. No casualties were reported, and local media say Seoul has asked for an explanation from the North. It's the first cross-border exchange in 3 years.
Israel's High Court is hearing arguments on whether Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu can form a unity government while under indictment. This man organized a protest against him.
We're very hopeful that the Supreme Court will decide that it's not suitable for a democratic country like Israel to have a prime minister who's accused with bribe.
If the court rules he cannot form a government, Israel may have to hold its 4th consecutive election in just over a year. This is CBS News.
You can listen to CBS News Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on radio.com or the radio.com app. Download it today.
Attention SSI recipients. If you did not file a tax return last year and have children under 17, you must act now to get the $500 economic impact payment per child. If you do not act by May 5th, you must wait until next year to get those payments. Go to irs.gov and enter your information in the non-filer tool by May 5th. That's irs.gov. This message produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
The latest Gallup poll shows support for President Trump is falling, but can you really believe the polls? Now, Newsmax is conducting an urgent national poll asking Americans if you approve of President Trump's handling of the crisis. It's easy to vote in Newsmax's poll. Just text the word FISH to 39747. That's 39747. Your opinion counts, and Newsmax will share the results with Congress and the media. So text FISH 39747 and vote now. That's 39747.
You among the many who have ditched their suits and ties while working at home amid the coronavirus?
Admit it. How many of us are dressing down for the pandemic? We've talked to some fashion experts who say it's okay.
Robes, loungewear, workout clothes. We're definitely seeing a spike in pajamas.
Sophia Tang is the creative director of Bloomingdale's. Robin Givon is the Washington Post's fashion critic.
There are going to be days when your anxiety gets the better of you. And, I think sometimes it's okay if you just want to wear your pajamas.
Fashion designer Michael Kors agrees. Dress to make yourself feel good.
When you feel confident, you're going to have a better day.
Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Help on the way for farmers and those going hungry. The Department of Agriculture is about to start spending $300 million a month to buy surplus food and ship it to food banks. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
This is Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station, KNX 10 Saturday News Radio. I'm Rob Archer. Top local stories at 9:05. People in Orange County continue to protest against Governor Newsom's decision to uphold virus closures. And as beaches reopen in Ventura County, officials praise residents there for following health and safety orders. But first, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5. Here's Tim Greenwood.
Hey, good morning. Monterey Park 60 eastbound, 3 lanes taken away From Rosemead to Findlay, or since you're eastbound, it's Findlay to Rosemead. For pavement repair, that'll be going on till tomorrow morning. Has been going on for a long time. Los Angeles Crest Highway at mile marker 55. 2 motorcycles down and emergency equipment headed to the top of the mountain. Carson, 405 northbound at Alameda. Stalled SUV still working in the right lane. 210 eastbound at Cherry in Fontana. That's a 2-car crash with CHP on the scene. Fontana also, avoid the 15 north of the 210. They're working on it from Sierra up to Glen Helen Parkway. And officially 4 lanes are taken away. And then the memo came out. It said 4 lanes taken away of 4 lanes. So there's going to be a problem. So on the 210, take the 215 north to go into Cajon Pass. You can avoid all the trouble, and it will be much better. Next, traffic report at 9:15. I'm Tim Greenwood in the Toyota of Glendora 24-hour traffic center, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Morning clouds and fog, and then sunshine today and tomorrow. Highest today in the upper 60s. The beaches, upper 70s inland, low 80s in the valleys. Going to be a little bit warmer tomorrow, and even warmer weather is coming during the coming week. Your exclusive 5-day forecast is on the way at 9:15. Right now it's 66 degrees in Van Nuys, 65 in downtown L.A., and 67 in Huntington Beach at 9:07. Governor Newsom's order shutting down all Orange County beaches because of the coronavirus has prompted more protests in several cities where many people say they have a right to enjoy the local sand and surf. One man who defied the order during a demonstration in Huntington Beach says he sees it as an act of civil disobedience.
I wanted to say that I walked on the beaches when they were closed as a subtle form of protest.
Newport Beach has now joined Huntington Beach and Dana Point in a legal challenge to the governor's order, but CBS 2's Greg Mills says Orange County officials are actually hoping to be able to reach a deal with the state to modify the order to allow at least limited beach activities as long as people observe physical distancing rules and don't linger in the sand.
A county supervisor says a plan is in the works for active use only of the beach, like swimming, surfing, cycling, and running.
The judge has already rejected a request to temporarily block the governor's order, but has scheduled a fuller hearing on the issue for May 11th. Beaches in Ventura County are open, and county officials are praising residents for following strict safety guidelines. Officials call it a soft closure that strikes a balance between health and safety. Many safety precautions have been put into place to help keep beachgoers safe and moving, including signs that say active recreation only. CBS 2's Christy Fajardo also gives us an idea of what the socially distanced beaches look like.
Surfers in the water, people walking dogs, swimming, and obeying the sign.
You know, people get a little stir crazy, and it gets harder as it goes on. And so we want people to stay engaged and have a sense of hope and optimism that we're making progress, because we are. But we have to continue that physical distancing.
So the true test will come when the temperatures rise. But to avoid large crowds, officials here in Ventura County say for now, only locals are welcome.
Police officers are monitoring the beaches to make sure people are following those guidelines. Parking lots and restrooms are also closed, and gatherings, beach accessories, and sunbathing have been banned. The coronavirus death toll in L.A. County has now topped 1,200 after health officials confirmed 38 new virus-related fatalities during the latest reporting period. And the total number of confirmed cases across the county looks set to pass the 25,000 mark by tomorrow. The Inland Empire is still the second biggest virus hotspot in Southern California. The number of COVID-19 deaths in Riverside County has gone up by 5 to a new total of 161. And the San Bernardino County figure has now climbed to 97 with the addition of 3 new deaths. San Diego County also remains a major virus zone with the death toll there now up to 138. In Orange County, meanwhile, the number has risen to 52. The first new death in Ventura County in several days brings the total there to 19. It's 9:09. Resource information and other coronavirus-related data can now be found by Los Angeles residents in one spot.
The COVID-19 Resource Hub was launched by L.A. Controller Ron Galprin.
There are a lot of resources of information out there, and it can become very confusing. So what we tried to do was to really edit it in such a way that it would provide the most essential information for Angelenos, and also pull information that was in a variety of different sources and put it in one place that is easy to reach and easy to digest and easy to understand.
It has a dashboard updated daily with data from the LA County Public Health Department so that users can see and search for coronavirus cases by city and community, track the number of deaths over time, and see its impact on residents by age and ethnicity. The hub also breaks down resources into 16 categories, including employees and job seekers, freelancers and artists, small business, nonprofits, seniors, immigrants, and more. Margaret Carrero, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Your next traffic check is coming up in 4 minutes. It's 9:11.
It's Jane. And if you're home with kids who you're trying to keep engaged and off their devices, we need to talk about KiwiCo. KiwiCo is hands-on art projects for kids of all ages delivered to your doorstep. Each project has visual, step-by-step instructions to keep even the youngest innovators engaged and learning outside of school. Everything you need to make STEM fun, delivered monthly to your doorstep. Get to kiwico.com/local today to save 30% off your first month. That's KIWICO.com/local.
Small businesses are grappling with the impact of these uncertain times and looking for resources. That's why Dell Technologies assembled an all-star lineup of podcasters to create the first ever virtual conference to share advice and inspiration for small businesses. Dell Technologies is from keeping you connected while working remotely with Windows 10 and Microsoft Teams to providing relevant content for businesses. Search Dell Technologies Small Business Podference on radio.com, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts starting May 1st.
Owning Corporation, Equal Housing Lender, licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lender Act, NMLS 1797976, California DRE license 02063270. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
Crazy things are going on in the world right now. Like owning funding 30-year fixed refis at 2.99 rate and APR. Yes, you heard correctly. 2.99 rate and APR with no fees of any kind. Needless to say, people are going to owning.com for this free closer rate and APR like mad. In fact, if you have both a real estate and mortgage license, we may want to hire you. Look, money is so dirt cheap, most folks are taking cash out of their equity to do just about anything, including sticking it into their bank accounts just to have it there. Wouldn't you be crazy not to go to owning.com and grab 2.99 APR, no closing costs, no nonsense money while it's out there? Call 855-5-OWNING or go to owning.com to not miss these monthly savings. 855-5-OWNING.
Drinking and driving? What's your excuse?
I know when I've had too much.
I had to drive home. I need my car for work.
I didn't drink that much.
I live 5 minutes from here.
No excuses. Designate a sober driver.
A message from the California Highway Patrol.
For all our sakes, we need to avoid crowds any way we can. But what if you need to go to the post office or need postage for letters and packages? Stamps.com is here to help. Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, package, or class of mail anywhere you want to send. Once your mail is ready, just leave it for your mail carrier, schedule a free package pickup, or drop it in a mailbox. No human contact required. Plus, find great discounts like 5 cents off every first-class stamp and up to 40% off USPS shipping rates. And now, Stamps.com also offers UPS services with discounted rates up to 62% and no residential surcharges. Right now, listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in LISTEN. That's Stamps.com, enter LISTEN. Stay safe, my friends.
This is Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station, KNX 1070 News.
The backyard is back. A place to get a breath of fresh air and get together with the family. The Home Depot is here to help you create the backyard you've always wanted. With premium, low-maintenance composite decking and fencing from brands like Trex, Fiberon, TimberTech, and Veranda. And hundreds of other options to bring your backyard back to life this year. Order online, and we're on it. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only. Restrictions apply.
Geico has the insurance industry-leading app that lets you manage your policy anytime, anywhere. Which means that Geico is always there for you. If only everyone was always there for you. Like animal control, when you're cornered in your garage by an angry possum.
Hi, me again. You guys said you would be here about an hour ago, and I think the possum is starting to get angry. Listen, I thought if I fed it, it would go away, but now it is ripping holes in the drywall and making some sort of nest. Just call me back.
Geico, always there for you with savings and the industry-leading mobile app.
Temperatures will be near average too. If you are along the coast, expect lower 70s, upper 70s for LA and Orange County Metro, 80 degrees for the valleys this afternoon, upper 60s up in the mountains. We will have periods of strong northerly winds pretty much through Tuesday. Winds will be strongest over Santa Barbara County, the I-5 corridor, and the Antelope and the Santa Clarita Valley. The big weather story heading into this week will be our warming temperatures, especially by midweek. We will see temperatures rise to the mid to upper 90s. And we have the potential to break some heat records. With Southern California's most accurate and dependable forecast, I'm CBS 2 meteorologist Alex Biston for KNX 1070 News Radio.
Right now we have 65 degrees in downtown LA, 64 in San Fernando, and 65 in Santa Monica at 9:17. Even though it was pretty small and didn't cause any injuries or damage, an overnight earthquake about a half a mile northwest of Chatsworth did manage to rattle a lot of nerves across Southern California. The magnitude 3.3 quake hit about 3:20 this morning and caused light shaking not only in much of the San Fernando Valley, but also in parts of Simi Valley, Santa Clarita, even West LA and Santa Monica. Mask will be mandatory for all JetBlue passengers beginning tomorrow. They're going to have to be worn during check-in, boarding, on the flight, and leaving the plane. American Airlines also going to start handing out masks and sanitizing wipes to passengers. Airline industry expert Brett Snyder with CrankyFlyer.com tells KNX he's not sure this will get more people to fly again.
The airlines have done a lot to step up cleaning procedures, make sure that people know that they are doing a lot to keep them safe and healthy. This takes it another step further, although it creates a very strange visual for people that aren't used to seeing a plane load of people with masks on.
Snyder says he hopes more U.S. airlines require passengers wearing masks to better protect both themselves and the crews. The coronavirus shutdown of the U.S. economy also slamming drug dealers and cartel leaders in Mexico because many of the channels they use to launder drug profits are now closed.
Firms located in the L.A. Garment District for years have been taking U.S. dollars from the dealers, shipping goods to Mexico for sale, and the pesos went into the cartel's